G'day everyone. I wanted to talk to you about when I believe or what's going to happen with the new APS-C cameras and lenses that's going to come out shortly. We've been hearing about it since probably the middle of last year, talking about an a7000 or something like that coming on. There was a document that was released over the weekend. Unfortunately, I was away for the weekend, so I couldn't talk to you all about that. So I thought I'd mention that today because there's some interesting facts that are sort of stated in there. I'm going to quickly go through with you what they're saying is going to happen, or their guess of what's going to happen, and then I'll just sum up where I think where I think we're standing at the moment. So let's look at this document. So this is the one here shared on Sony Alpha Rumors on the 22nd. And basically it's just, they were showing the senior imaging products and solutions manager or director there. Now, he was saying in there that Sony once more confirms that the APS-C line will continually develop further, because some people are saying it's the end of the APS-C line, but he's saying the opposite to that, saying they will be developed further. And he's also saying that the A6400 is not the A6500 replacement, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute once we get off this document here. He's also coming down to here to say, while he cannot talk about the plans of an A6500 successor, their goal is to exceed customers' requests. There is little demand for low-end APS-C cameras, and I think that's probably what's happening in the lower end of the market. They're certainly the cameras that are having issues, particularly in the point and shoot. But he's even saying that the low-end APS-C models, there's little demand for that. He said, but there is demand for higher-end models is still strong. In 2019, we plan to strengthen our APS-C and full-frame portfolio of cameras and lenses. So the interesting thing is, I used the A6400 extensively on the weekend, and I'm going to release a review today actually about that, so stay tuned for that. So I don't want to talk too much about that. But from its use, I can definitely say that we still need a A7000 or A600 or whatever they're going to call it replacement. Due to the fact of having no IBIS on that, I did a test where you'll see it in the review, where I was hand holding it. And even I used this lens, which is stabilized. So I did have the 10 to 18, which is stabilized. And look, I didn't really walk using the ninja walk and stuff like that, because I just wanted to walk as probably a normal vlogger would. And the results were pretty bad, terrible in fact, even with a stabilized lens. So the full axis IBIS does make a big difference if you're vlogging. Now, I know that this has the fold-up screen, but if you had something like an A7000 that had IBIS and the fold-up screen, they certainly do play well together, and they can even out that sort of walking problems and things like that you're seeing. The other issue is too that we just haven't had any replacement for the X-T3 at this stage. If you're looking at that camera, you're still getting 4K 60p on that camera. You're still getting higher bit rates out to video. And things like that. So that camera is still the market leader if you're talking about APS-C at this stage. Now, yes, I know the A6400 has much better autofocus, and it does, and I use that this weekend, and it's pretty amazing. It really does work very, very well. But it's little things like that if you're a videographer and you can't use 4K 60p, which I know a lot of people like me who are doing video would love to do that due to slowing down 4K. So that's one thing that is missing. So if you're talking about the high end of Sony cameras, the X-T3 probably is still at the peak at the moment, at the top. So Sony still do have to answer that. The problem is I don't think that they really feel like they're pushed at this stage, and that's the issue. Yes, the X-T3 I still believe is more advanced, but it's still not really pushing it that hard, and that's the issue. The same we're finding with the full frame cameras with the A7S III. Now we're talking about June probably at the earliest, and we don't even know when a new A7000 will be released either. We haven't got details on that. The only thing we're getting is lens information, which they're saying we may get a 135 in the coming days and a few others announced. But I would say at this stage, having used it extensively over the weekend, there still particularly is room for a higher end APS-C camera, particularly one that has IBIS. And I think that is really a missing factor on this, and dual cards would be a real great benefit. So I'm hoping if they're saying that we get if the next cameras exceed our expectations, that they include those sort of things in it. We kept hearing about the a7000 was going to have this larger body like the A7 series, and then therefore it probably would have dual cards and things like that, but we don't know whether it would have a fold-up screen. So we're still waiting to find out on that. Love to know your thoughts about what I've just gone through. Let me know in the comment box down below. Stay tuned for my full review of the A6400. I've got that coming later today. Please, if you haven't, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next video. Bye, guys.